The little girl's voice barely rose above the clatter of silverware and the cheerful conversations that filled the upscale outdoor restaurant. Clad in ragged, dirt-stained clothes and carrying an old plastic bag, she stood nervously beside a billionaire's table, her hungry eyes reflecting a memory of what it felt like to have a full meal. Customers shifted uncomfortably, anticipating that security would soon intervene. Yet, an unforgettable moment unfolded. Jonathan Hayes, a prominent businessman revered for his immense wealth, was seated at that table. Newspapers chronicled his success, television celebrated his billion-dollar enterprises, and magazines painted him as a man who possessed it all. However, nobody realized the profound loneliness hidden beneath his tailored suits and extravagant lifestyle. Following the death of his wife years prior, Jonathan spent his evenings dining alone, surrounded by admirers of his fortune but never anyone who truly cared for him. That day was no exception, as he sat quietly at his elegantly set table, while waiters served dishes costing more than the weekly income of many families. Despite the opulence surrounding him, the food felt devoid of flavor. Across the street, 14-year-old Emily moved slowly through the bustling sidewalks, having gone without food since the previous morning. Orphaned after her parents died and escaping an abusive foster home, she had faced a relentless struggle against hunger, and the harshness of nights spent sleeping wherever she could find refuge. As she wandered past the restaurant, the tantalizing aromas of fresh bread and roasted meat filled her senses, but her legs felt rooted to the spot. Her gaze fell on Jonathan's table, where half-eaten plates of food lay untouched. Pride urged her to walk away, but the need to survive drowned out that voice. Summoning all her courage, Emily approached with trembling hands and asked a single, heart-wrenching question. Could she eat his leftovers once he was done? The restaurant fell silent. Many diners looked on in disgust, while a waiter rushed forward to usher her away before she could embarrass the wealthy patrons. Jonathan raised his hand, halting the waiter in his tracks. For several tense seconds, he locked eyes with Emily, whose weary gaze reminded him of his younger sister, a woman who had devoted her life to helping the less fortunate before succumbing to cancer. She had often said that true wealth was measured not by one's bank balance, but by the lives one touched. Those words reverberated in his heart. Instead of dismissing Emily, Jonathan stood up and quietly requested a fresh meal, not leftovers, but a warm plate served with respect. The waitstaff exchanged surprised glances but complied. Emily could hardly believe her eyes as tears streamed down her grimy cheeks when a steaming meal was placed before her. She hesitated at first, fearful it might be taken away, while Jonathan watched closely, observing as her initial fear transformed into relief. Over the next hour they shared stories. Emily recounted her struggles with cold nights under bridges, constant rejection, and the solitude that shadowed her existence. She never sought money or pity, only the means to endure another day. As Jonathan listened, he realized something that his years of business negotiations had never revealed. While his financial success filled his accounts, it had also left an emptiness that no amount of wealth could fill. That evening, rather than sending Emily back to the streets, Jonathan contacted a reputable children's support organization, ensuring her immediate safety. He also initiated a scholarship and housing foundation aimed at helping homeless children rebuild their lives. Within months, countless young people who had once felt invisible found safety, education, and hope, all because one brave girl had dared to ask a simple question. Emily's life gradually transformed. She returned to school, discovered a remarkable talent for painting, and began creating stunning artwork inspired by dreams she thought had faded. Years later, at the grand opening of Jonathan's largest community center, Emily stood confidently by his side, expressing her gratitude for recognizing her humanity when so many only saw a homeless girl. Jonathan often reflected that people believed he had saved Emily that day, but he knew the truth. Emily had saved him from a life where wealth had replaced empathy. Her bravery reminded him that the most meaningful investments are not in companies or structures, but in the lives of others. As this story draws to a close, we invite you to share your thoughts. If you believe that even the smallest act of kindness can transform a life, please comment below with the word kindness. Remember, every person you encounter may be fighting invisible battles. A smile, a meal, a kind word, or simply treating someone with dignity could change the course of another's life. Sometimes the question that can alter the world is not complex at all. Sometimes it's simply, can I eat your leftovers? If this tale moved you, please like this video, share it with loved ones, leave your comments, and subscribe to the channel for more stories that remind us of our shared humanity. Your support truly makes a difference.